Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm checking out two gaming chairs here. One of these costs $100 while the other one is $200. Now, out of the bat, which one do you think looks better and which one would you pick? Now, the chair on the right, it costs $200 while the one on the left is $100. Technically speaking, this is $140, but I have a link in the description where it'll be for $100 for a different color, not a slightly one. But yeah, it's gonna be black and blue. Well, this one goes for $140, but I'm wondering if they'll come down on the price since the blue one is $100. But either way, one of the things I noticed about this is that you can tell it's much thinner versus this is a lot more thick, especially on the bottom. It's actually called the Big and Tall Killabee chair. And this is for more so like people that are bigger, taller, versus this is maybe not so much. This can be more so for anyone. Now, both of these chairs are at their lowest point. This goes down to 17 inches, while this is resting at like 20 inches. So this is much higher. I'm about 5'7", so this is a lot more comfortable if I sit down, and then my feet can touch the ground. And then this can go all the way up, and then my feet can still touch the ground. And it takes a little more pressure, but not too much. Now, at its highest point, it'll go from the floor to the seat by about 4 inches up to 21 inches. And that's not too bad or anything, but if you're a taller guy, this will probably suit you more. And the reason being is because if you compare the two right now, this is at its lowest point right now, and this is at its highest. It looks about the same. This one's slightly higher by about an inch, and this is resting at 20 inches from the floor to the seat. So if we raise this, it goes up by about 3 inches, and it's definitely higher than this now. And this is harder for me to sit down on and my feet to touch the ground than this one. Because, again, this is for taller people. So I'm about 5'6", 5'7", and my feet kind of just reach up to here. They go all the way up here. Now, unfortunately, that's the best comparison I can give because I don't know anyone taller at the moment that's willing to test this out with me. But regardless, this definitely looks thicker and much more comfortable, and it is. This could be more used for longer periods of time. And I'm not saying this is bad, but maybe after a while of use, you might want to get up and move around a bit. The back here does help support it for a couple hours. Now, if you're doing it for like 2 hours, maybe this will be fine. But if you're willing to sit or you're looking at sitting for longer hours, this is going to be a better choice. Both of these have a neck rest. This kind of rests my head because, again, it's pretty high up there. And this is for the neck. They both can be removed from the back, which has this here. And by the way, I got to say, one thing I like about this that this doesn't have, this can just be removed upwards. This has a strap you can kind of take off. But back here, you see the two holes. You can kind of just move this around easily, much easily. This is actually really hard to move around. So it takes more force. I also like the back pillow here because you can adjust it upwards or down. And there are two straps on the back to remove it from here. Versus this is definitely movable, but it's not connected to anything. So if I want to adjust it, I kind of have to sit that way and keep it adjusted like that. Otherwise, it'll fall down. But you can take it out. I personally prefer that a lot more. It's a lot better and easier to maneuver than this because it's more loose. For the armrests, this one isn't movable at all, and it's made from cheap plastic, versus this one can be adjusted sideways a little bit, and it can also go up by an inch, and then this can be moved back too. So, had to use both my hands there for a second, but yeah, you can move it back and then bring it forward. This does have kind of a cushion. It's it's really hard though. Dare I say it's just plastic, it felt like initially, but there is kind of a cushion here. A little too hard though, so yeah, not too much of a difference, but again, this is much more flexible because it's actually movable. And another minor inconvenience I found is that after I installed it, this started moving around after a few days. So that's unfortunate. And the screws were locked on. And by the way, these are relatively easy to install too, both of them. One other downside I did notice is that with this, when you try to rock it back and forth, is that there's that squeaky noise. This one, it's pretty much non-existent on there. But these both can be rocked back underneath. You see this here. And you can unscrew this a little bit, and you'll be able to rock back and forth that way. These are also both adjustable from the back by up to 170 degrees. You use this lever down here. Both of these are angled all the way to the back as far as they can go. This one goes up to 170 degrees, and that's quite a bit. to the point where I don't feel too comfortable laying my back on it. I can't trust the support. I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but I just don't feel comfortable. Versus this, it doesn't go as far back. That one, my guess is that's about 150, 160 degrees. I'll double check that. The links will be down below for more information and the dimensions. But yeah, this is a lot more comfortable to lay down on and rest because, again, you do have that comfortable cushion. It's a lot thicker on the bottom and up here versus here, you really just feel the back and the neck brace, which it kind of turns to a pillow pretty much for you. I was trying to say the neck pillow. But nonetheless, yeah, you get what you pay for, I want to say. And for $100 more, I personally think the Killabee is worth it. The reason I say that is because you don't buy gaming chairs every day. So once you buy one, you have to stick with it for a while, usually for a few years. And so I would invest more money and I would keep this versus this one. But that's not to say if you use this for 2 hours or less, like, you know, on your computer, this will be just fine. Aesthetically, this looks a little more pleasing. By that, what I'm trying to say is that I like the red touches to the black. It looks more appealing than this one. I'm not to say this is completely dull or anything, but it's just a personal preference of looks. This one does look better. But again, this is more so for comfortability and long-term sitting, and I would recommend this over that. But again, I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. Unless if you're a tall person, then this is definitely the one to go for. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching.